And hello, welcome to this video of the OpenFOAM Bash scripting. So today, last video actually we went through a little bit of more foam get dictionary. We learned how to run things in parallel. Okay, so today I want to explore other things here as well. Okay, we have actually added two new functions, one called run test case and one called run test case in parallel. It depends how many uh, uh, okay, let me put some comments here. First argument or input is for case directory. Okay, second argument is for number of processes. Okay, so this is what we did. We actually condense all of this into functions to run, and we can just run these functions. Okay, very easily. Of course, that was not that one was actually running in series rather than parallel. Okay, I've also added something. Okay, while off video while the thing was running, I added this into the useful commands for file called foam get dictionary. You need to specify where the case is, and you of course need to specify the dictionary name, which in our case was the composed parallel dictionary. Okay, so I'm going to add that. Okay, I'm going to add or run. And okay, this video actually I want to start doing something a little bit different. I'm going to explore more things and more features inside the cavity or run file. Okay, so we see this by looking at this, it's easy to see, you know, what these are doing. Now these are all functions. There's a set command here, okay, which I'm not going to use. Okay, so what about this? This part here is a little bit not as so familiar, so we want to delve into it a little bit more. You can see there is this for loop over here. So we can see that you can see the syntax over here. So I'm just going to copy and paste all of this. I'm going to copy and paste all of this. I'm going to start going into the basic functions. Go into firstly the for loop. Okay. So the for, and of course I have another place for case structures. So I'm going to just copy and paste all of this here. Not that it's going to run or anything. It's not going to run properly, of course. Okay, so let's do a hashtag exclamation mark bin bash. So make sure I use the born again command shell. Okay, so that makes sure it's using that. So what's with this part? Okay, I'm going to pound sign all of this so as to comment all of this out. I wonder if there's a easier way to do this. If you know, let me know in the comments. I mean, of course, I can Google for it, but I'm kind of lazy now. Okay. Okay. But from at least this script, we can study some syntax. And of course, I can do the same. CP for loop, case structure. Now I'm going to overwrite it. Let's go to for loop. Okay. So let's talk about for loop first, because this is the part outside. So it says for case name in cavity cases, do, and then you'll have all of this script here, then it's done. So this is the basic syntax of a for loop. So for something in something, something in something, do, and then we'll have done. Okay, so what is this something? Okay, what is this something? All right, so let's see. So first thing first, you're supposed to provide a string or sort of a bash variable. You need to declare a bash variable first. So let's say let's see, speech equals to, okay, I'm going to use double exclamation marks. Okay, Let's see. Let me think of it. Okay, let's see. I love OpenFOAM and Bash. It's the most imaginative script. Okay, so all of these here will become, what do you call that? String variables or strings in themselves. So you can say for something in speech. Okay, for something in speech. Okay, you do something. All right. So this is the syntax that I'm just copy and pasting here. So from the looks of this, you need to define a variable first, and then this for loop will do something. Well, if you think about it, it's very similar to if you do MATLAB for I goes to n, or for I equals 1 to 10, and then do some script, right? For I equals 1 to 10, you do something, right? So this is the for loop you might be used to in MATLAB. Okay, so it's very similar here. This 1 to 10 part is actually this part. This part where you say speech. So and then this something here is this I over here. This I. So if it's more familiar, I suppose you can say maybe this thing is called word. Okay, we can call it word. Okay. So for word in speech, because this word is the I thing that you're iterating through, this for loop is iterating through. So what this for loop will do, all right, same as going from the index number of 1 to 10, instead of doing 1 to 10, you kind of iterate through all these string variables. So what this for loop will do is you'll look at the first variable, and then you see, okay, what do I do with this variable? Okay, this variable, okay, let's do something very simple. We'll just echo word. Okay, so for the first word, so to speak, I in this speech, it will echo this word. Okay, this is the equivalent of this I over here. So if it's easier for you, you can say something like print I. Okay. Okay, so I can say note. This is similar to. Okay, it's very similar to this script over here. Okay, so it's going to iterate through some of these. So, okay, I'm going to do this 1 to 10 thing over here. This part here is actually this speech thing here. So for word in speech, so that's this word is like this I thing over here. So it will iterate. So we look for the first variable. So this variable will be assigned to this bash variable called word. In this for loop, it will only exist in this for loop. After that, it will be gone, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so it will look for this first variable, and then it will assign this value I to this variable word. So the first part, it will just echo this word. It will echo the variable word, and this word will be I. Then of course the first loop is done. Then after that, it will look in this variable speech, which has all this text over here. You look at the second variable, you look for the variable love, and then it will assign this value love to this word, and then you'll echo this word variable. All in all, if I run this script, ideally I should see, if I don't have careless mistakes or bugs, I should see I love OpenFOAM and Bash echoed one after another. Okay, so let's run the for loop. Okay, you'll say I love OpenFOAM and Bash. Okay, so it works correctly. So I'm going to git add for loop. Okay, so hopefully that runs you through a little bit of the for loop. Okay, so you will see lots of these things in OpenFOAM. Okay, at least the all run scripts. Now the second part, let's look at case structures. Okay, case structures is basically something like this. Case structures are like if ... you do ... else ... n. So this is something like what case structures are. Case structures are basically your if loops, okay? But they're in a sense more neat than if loops. So it will look for some case. Okay, so let's take a look at the case structure. You usually start with this. You start with the syntax case. Okay, you start with case, and then you end it with ESAC, which is the reverse of case. Okay, you can think of it as escape or what, but that's the way Bash likes to end the case. All right, so we can see that this outside part is already part of the for loop, so we will just ignore the for loop because we already went through the for loop. So so you can see that okay, when you start, you need to find this. You need to input a variable, something called case name. So you need a variable in your Bash environment first. So we'll just call this the control variable. Okay. So the control variable, we can call it true or false. Okay. So wait, did I go through this before? I think I did. I don't know. Okay, never mind. I don't know whether I went through this before, but I'm going through it in this video. Okay, well, I gotta live with it. Okay, so let's do this control variable. Okay, control variable. Okay, so we want it such that if this control variable becomes what we use to test. Okay, so for example, it's a bit like if case equals true, do something, else do something else. So this is usually what the if loop is like. So you need to compare let's see, variable may be a less confusing word. It says, okay, if a variable equals to true, you do something, else do something else. So that is what we are trying to achieve here. So how do you do this testing? Okay, so this part, it says it needs to have some variable declared in the environment first. So you need a variable declared in the environment. So this is what this variable is. So usually in your code, you will, okay, in a typical if loop, okay, variable equals something ... okay, you declare your variable first, then you have to check whether your variable is some value, in this case true. Okay, so to load that to actually compare this variable to some reference variable that you have, you need to have some reference variable declared first. So I call this the control variable. Okay, so you just set this up by case. You have this control variable, then you start in. Now this in part is just basically your start of this. If variable equals to question mark. If variable equals to question mark. So you have a variable in your Bash environment. Then what you need to compare it to something, right? So this in can be so-called thought of as an equal sign. So for if this variable is in if this variable here is equal to cavity fine, you execute this code. If this variable here is equals to cavity high RE, you execute this code. Okay, so we can do this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to execute it inside our all run script shortly. So there are two examples of the case file. All right, so first we have a control variable, and what do? We need to set you need to set this tell bash to compare it to something. So we compare it to this what do you call it, script here. Okay. Okay, so first thing first, I will have I need to put the in. Okay, and let me put the let's put this. We'll have a true case, and then you're supposed to do something. Okay, so if something equals to true, then you do something. Okay, the way you usually end your case is to use a double semicolon. Okay, so okay, look at this. You compare your environment variable to something. So if this environment variable equals to something, then you have to close bracket here. Then you execute some file. So if control variable equals to true, then you can echo I am true. Okay. Otherwise, if it's false, then you can echo I am false. And you can do a double semicolon. Okay, and so it will look for this control variable. This case structure will look for this control variable and see whether it's equal to this value true, and then you'll echo I am true. If it says false, it will say I am false. Okay, so if this code works, then we should see this echo I am true come out. So let's do case structures. It says I am true. Okay, so yeah, you don't even have to set your control variable here. We can echo control variable. Okay, it's nothing. Control variable equals 1. Okay, and let's see what it does with case structures. It will do nothing. If we do control variable equals true, we can do case structures. It will also do nothing. Okay. So looks like this whole bash script like runs as a function. It does not take the it doesn't take any of these it does not take any of these variables from this bash environment for some reason, unless I did a typo. Yeah. Anyway, let's do control variable equals true, because that's what it's supposed to do. And let's run case structure again. It says I am true. Okay, let's clear. In case structure. Yeah, so I guess I'll just leave this here. Of course, we can do another case. If this is false, it will just execute I am false. Now, the key difference between case structures and if-else loops is that, over here, there isn't exactly an else statement. So basically what it's saying is that if this control variable equals to true, it will execute this code. If this control variable equals to false, it will execute this code, and so on and so forth. But it does not have an else. There's no else case here. Okay, but that's case structures for you. I'm going to add everything here, and of course I'm going to use case structures inside our all run. Okay, so I'm going to do all run. Yeah, I'm going to do a case structure here just for practice. So let's declare a variable. Run variable equals to serial. So because we are running in series, because this is a all run in series, so let me do a case structure. Case run variable in something ESAC. Okay, so if run variable is serial, then what code should it run? it should run the run test case. Yeah, run test case. Okay, run test case of what? Cavity swirl. Okay, otherwise, if it's parallel, then I should run this in parallel. So this is a way of implementing case structure for you. So if it's parallel, I can copy and paste these bits here. It should run this whole thing in parallel. And then we can do all run, and it should run it correctly. Okay. I should all clean first, then all run. All run. So see, it runs correctly. The case structure runs correctly. And as you see, there's no reconstruct parallel thing going on. Runs for 20 seconds. If I all run, copy the all run to all run parallel, I can just change one line of code. Here, I can change this serial run variable serial to run variable parallel. And this is how you kind of run case structures. So let's do all clean and do all run parallel. Okay, now it's running in parallel. We can wait for the reconstruct par. See, reconstruct par is running now. So I'm not going to run this all the way, but I hope this actually gives you some insight into how case structures are run. Okay, case structures and for loop demonstration complete. Okay, so this will be, of course, uploaded to GitHub. You can explore at your pleasure. But yeah, basically that should help you understand what's going on in this bash script. At least most of it. Yeah. So there's this unset thing which actually unsets a variable in the bash environment. I'm not going to go through it, but I've shown you how a for loop works. I've shown you how a case structure works. And basically, by running through this whole video series, you should understand what all of this is over here, so it does not confuse you. Okay? And that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it is useful in your OpenFOAM endeavors. Wishing you all the best.